Hello everyone. It's been quite a while since I posted anything on my projects, and quite honestly it was a little bit of life got in the way, but also my previous posts were on this pickup bed roll off, which it kind of went off the rails. It took the boat out camping with us and pointed at an angle up in the air. It caught a lot of wind and it was just a big disappointment. So I ended up retooling and just going a whole different direction with it, and never picked up the camera. So hopefully get back into that sometime in the near future. But wanted to pick it back up. I still have that project going, but I'm not going to touch it for a little while. But it's actually quite good. And to catch you up, there's going to be a couple other projects that I'd like to cover, and I'm not going to go and do time lapses, anything like that. But I thought just short updates, some might help somebody out there doing the same thing to the same, or interested in a kind of weird project I have going on with that roll off that kind of just happened. But first, things first, it's like I took a lot of time off too in order to work on this little workshop of mine. It's under the basement of home. My home was originally a rear entry garage. We've got a side garage on it now. So I took the existing garage and made it into more of a workshop, and we'll go into that a little bit. So yep, here's what I did with myself. Took some old kitchen cabinets, and this will be, I'm going to split that off into a different video with the Panzer. But yep, brought my workbenches all together, and it took a little time to redo the shelves, do a little bit of paint, but not much. And then the new project I was going to introduce to you is up here. But like I said, this is a big deal for me, just getting a little bit of space for myself and cleaning it up a bit. It's not much, but it's been a long time coming that I've wanted a little bit of this. I still have some issues with fumes getting into the rest of the house. It seems like the wind predominantly comes in this way, and when it does, it seems to force the fumes into the rest of the house. So I don't have much window space. I'm working on some exhaust fans and sealing it so that, see, it's a sunny day here in Pennsylvania, but still cool. But anyway, so here is the new project. Started this around October, went down to North Carolina to pick up 1969 F350. And so far, well, did a little work on the wheels, but I've lowered it. It's the big thing. In the front, got F100 springs. I've also got helper airbags in there. What I'm going to do with the suspension is I'm going to, just try to keep it low, but also, if you can see back in there, brand new in the red is the helper airbag. So what I want is a lower, but not slam truck, but that I can adjust and haul the camper by bringing up the airbags. So I got the airbags for the back, but I'll show you the bed I've been working on there in a minute. But it's kind of a time capsule. It says 37,000 miles. I have to believe that's correct. It would have been a work truck, so it would have been some hard miles, but it would have been well taken care of. Would have gotten the oil check. And the 390 seems rather fresh. Take a look. The one thing here that doesn't fit, of course, is a nice shiny chrome air cleaner, but it didn't have one. So this is kind of a theme with this truck. It's going to fit in with where it's going, but it doesn't really fit in with where it is right now. But as far as things I've done under the hood, I rebuilt that Autolite 2-barrel. Of course, ultimately my plan is I'd like to put fuel injection in it so anybody can do it, anybody can run it. I'm kind of a computer nerd, so I don't mind the computers of it. And some of the things that it needs, right now it's leaking a little bit of oil. I found out it's oil pan, I believe. I had to replace the fuel pump. I said rebuilt the carburetor, I had to put an air cleaner on it. Not too much with the ignition. I had one wire that was arcing off to the head, so when I got it, it was running on 7. Now it's running on a strong 8. I need a different battery. They gave me this little tiny one, and I just bungeed it down because I don't want to, that's not what it's going to have ultimately. Some of the things it needs has a little bit of a manifold leak. Ultimately I go with headers, but I want to make sure all the holes, I've got some stainless bolts to go in there. It's going to get power steering. It's got manual steering right now, so that's going to be something that's happened soon because the rag joint down there is pretty well worn. In fact, I probably shouldn't be running it at all. But I was gonna get the power steering conversion kit. The radiator is leaking a little bit. It's not much light, but right down there. I decided instead of messing with that, I was going to do an upgrade, get a good radiator, because I do want to tow camper locally to some of the campgrounds, and cooling is something I want to focus on. So I was going to get an upgrade in that area. And I did do the washers. I haven't got it inspected yet, but outside of the flashers, I'm having issues with the flashers. But outside of that, I think I'm pretty well there. The grill is in decent shape. I mean, the bumper is okay for now, but you know, it's kind of dinged and the chrome isn't that good. Ultimately, I'd like to do something with that, but I haven't given it much thought just yet. The hood would have been replaced on it. It would have been white to begin with, or the whole truck would have been white, but the hood is a replacement. You see, there's not a lot of rot on the vehicle, but the hood is one place where, you know, it doesn't fit with the rest of it, so it must have been replaced at some point. But I decided to stay with the steel wheels that came with it, just paint them, get by the centers for them. This front wheel, I actually took it down 2 sizes from where it was. You know, they all 6, it's a dually, I should have mentioned that, but they all 6 would have had the same size, this size here. And I decided to try a couple sizes smaller in the front, and so far I think I like it. The front's spaced out 2 inches because before it was tucked in. I didn't really like the front wheel sitting way inside the wheel well, so it's spaced out, has good strong 2-inch spacer. And this is the bed I've been working on. I wish I would have filmed some of it. But I've pretty much just been forming this by hand. I did a little bit of cardboard aided drafting. Some pictures, maybe I'll figure out how to attach one and put it up when I had this done in cardboard. But the top is wood. I'm actually gonna, let's talk with the local steel place. I'm gonna put the 1-inch rails between each one. It shrunk a bit. You can see there's gaps at the edges from when I put it in. It's been well over a month since I did it. You know, once I put the spacers in between, 1/8 inch each one, they'll probably space it back out. For taillights, just did cheapos, you know. Ultimately hoping it's gonna be shiny so the chrome will fit in at that point in time, but for right now it's just kind of bizarre with this. But I didn't cut anything on, you know, my only joints are at these back 2 corners because I'm going to be able to cut this away and, you know, replace boards as I need. I'm going to stain the boards dark. And here is where I'm going to put the bags. See, it's pretty low. I took all the helper springs out and a lot of the main springs, so I only got 3 left in there. And the body is in good shape. Dings here and there, some alignment needs done. I'm going to cut the drip rails, are a little rusty. I cut them off, just not making a fashion statement. It's just that if they're rusty, you either got to fix them or get rid of them. So I'm going to get rid of them. But here was the only real rust through we had on the entire vehicle. So I got a panel for that, ready to go. It's here somewhere. You see the airbags I'm going to put in the rear. Because like I said, I want to put a camper behind this, and right now it would bottom it out on the bump stops. But I have the bump stops set, you know, where as soon as the tire would hit the wood, it would also hit the bump stop. So with a pair of airbags in there, that would, I want to maintain about this ride level, and that would enable me to do it. So I'm running kind of long here. I was hoping for a quick update, but inside actually has the original seat, and I bought this, again, something that doesn't fit, but I bought this cheap $19 seat cover, threw it in there, and I'm looking at things like carpet. I took that panel off just to see what I had inside. The inside of the doors are rusty from, I assume this side's fit, but not having the seals here and having water running down, but it's not coming through the outside, so it's just something I got to watch and put some reformer on it. A lot of this one spent a lot of time in the sun. You see it needs a windshield, needs you know, the stripping going all the way around. Clutch, I'm not sure. At first I thought it was bad. Now I'm not so positive. I do have an oil pan leak. I was using the dye to go through it, but I got a radio in order. I redid the I redid the speedo and such to go through clear glass. I mean, it was completely yellow. So I got all the gauges working with the exception of the temp. It goes straight to hot. And I actually bought it, so I think it must be a problem with the resistance in the not matching in the thing. But I had the gas pedal was sticking, had to fool with that. I did a lot of stuff in a few months, but didn't film any of it. So next steps, yeah, I'm gonna put some carpet in here, gonna put a radio in. I wanted to see, I'm gonna cut right in there, just put 5-inch rounds. It'll be kind of half on the panel, half on the non-panel. It's the best place I could find it where it didn't interfere with anything behind it and could make it look decent. Somebody had already drilled holes in that for speakers, and honestly, this is kind of funny. They must have taken it back out because they went right into where they would have interfered with the window mechanism. So in order to avoid that, there's nothing back here, is I'm gonna be putting a 5-inch right there and trimming away the top, trying to make it look good. So there's a lot it didn't cover, but that's as much as I can remember. I'm gonna take away the chicken chasers, the clearance lights. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I have to fold the mirrors in to get it in here. I'm not sure. Whatever I get's got to be able to be folded. So whether I'm gonna do a small one on the side, but I'd like to have these types of mirrors because they're, because they're for towing, and ultimately I do want to tow. So that's it. I'm gonna just stop it there, and I'll make a separate video right now on my Pennsylvania Panzer and what I'm doing with it. So that'll be a separate video if you're interested, and I can post it under a separate title. But thanks you, and hopefully I'll get some people to watch this who like classic Ford trucks and can give me advice or maybe ask for advice, and we'll get on with it.